Hey, what's up guys? It is Rob from Movie Review Time, and I'm back with a brand new series. It's actually kind of a response to Horror Fan 34 and Julie Cassidy, two of my best friends. They did some videos where they talked about movies from the year 1980 that they own. Thought I would do a series where I go over all of my favorite films from a certain year. And I wanted to start with 1980. I'm an 80s kid, so I thought it was only fitting that I'd start with 80 and go on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys my favorite films from the year 1980. Then I'm going to show you my favorite films from the year 1981, then 82, then 83, and so on. All going to be their own separate videos. That is my new series that I'm doing. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Now, the list for today's video is actually kind of short. It seems like as the 80s, progress, it seems like the list of good movies gets bigger as the years go by. So you'll see that. But anyway, let's start with my favorite films of the year 1980. First up here is, of course, The Changeling. Yes, George C. Scott. I have it here on Blu-ray. This is the Severin Films releasing. I took the limited edition slipcover off, but here's the limited edition, edition slipcover there. But yeah, The Changeling, just a awesome, creepy film. So, next up is John Carpenter's The Fog. Another kind of eerie film. I love the tint, like the greenish kind of tint to the fog itself. It's a classic, man. Full-scale thriller of the supernatural. The Fog. Next up is the original Friday the 13th. This is a movie that you'd never forget when you watch it for the first time, especially the ending, the twist ending. The characters, the deaths, it's just all iconic. And yeah, it's something that changed the slasher genre. It really did. Was something that I like to always call creative kills. This is kind of the movie that started that aspect of it. So, next up we have Maniac. This is from Blue Underground. Of course, the 3-disc limited edition, new 4K restoration. Love this movie. Oh, hey, look it's Gazzo from Rocky. That's always, I always like to, to say that. But, yeah, Maniac. Classic horror film there. Next up is Motel Hell. It takes all kinds of critters to make Farmer Vincent's fritters. Him and his twisted sister, who reminds me of Kathy Bates from Misery. Looks like Annie Wilkes. This is a fun movie. It really is. If you have not seen Motel Hell, I definitely recommend it. Next up is Private Benjamin. I do like Goldie Hawn as an actress. One of my favorite movies that she's done is Wildcats. It's a good football movie, but this is another good one. I enjoyed this one. The Army was no laughing matter until Judy Benjamin joined it. Goldie Hawn proves she is the screen's leading comic actress. Another good one with Goldie Hawn is Overboard. That's a good one. Next up, we have another Jamie Lee Curtis film, Prom Night. she was booming in the 80s, I tell you. Jamie Lee Curtis. Prom Night, another classic. And, yeah. Next up is my favorite horror movie of all time. Those of you who know me, Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. The good version of The Shining. Sorry, Stephen King. I know you don't like this version, but, you know, there are a lot of people who prefer this. So, just a masterpiece, in my opinion. Next up, we have The Empire Strikes Back. Part of the original trilogy of Star Wars. You know, there was no episode 5 or anything like that. It was just The Empire Strikes Back. Just like the fourth movie, or the first movie at that time, was just called Star Wars. It wasn't called Episode 4, A New Hope. So, this is, you know, without a doubt, on a lot of people's favorite list. My favorite Star Wars movie is Return of the Jedi, but this is definitely in my top 3 for sure, I would say. So, next up, another classic, Superman 2. The adventure continues. Christopher Reeves is still the man, the legend. His portrayal of Superman is uncanny, and I feel like, you know, at that time he was Superman. You know, that's what people recognized him as. No matter what other movies, and I actually have a couple other movies that I'm going to have on my list here during the middle years of the 80s, and he's still known as Superman. So, no matter what movie he's done. Again, with another Jamie Lee Curtis film, Terror Train. So look, in the year 1980, she had Prom Night, Terror Train, and The Fog. I tell you. Terror wears many disguises, all of them deadly. Terror Train is one of those films that I believe gets left in the dust a little bit. I mean, if you compare it to like Prom Night, everyone talks about Prom Night, everyone talks about The Fog, but no one really talks about Terror Train that much. Here we have a good John Travolta movie, Urban Cowboy, which I think this just got its first Blu-ray release. I think it was last year. Excellent film. John Travolta is one of my favorite actors, and I grew up with this film. You know, Deborah Winger, who was also an officer and a gentleman. This is just a good, like, you know, you believe their back and forth chemistry. You believe it. They're such good actors. So, here we have Cannibal Holocaust. It's a disgusting film, and you know, a lot of people won't even go near it. They won't even watch it because of how graphic they've heard it is, or it scares a lot of people. But honestly, just go into it knowing that it's a lot of practical effects, a lot of gore. I mean, you know, minus the animal deaths, which I like to just turn off. Because they do have that option where you can turn off the animal deaths, which is a good thing. This is the most realistic cannibal film I've ever seen, and because of that, the people who worked on this film, the crew, actually were looking at jail time because of this. Yeah, it's so violent and so crazy that it's hard for people to even watch or even get through it. And it's understandable. It really is. But this is just one of those films that you'll never, ever forget. So, And this is the Grindhouse releasing DVD version that I found at FYE a long while back. And I remember I grabbed it off the shelf. The kid that was working there saw that I had it, and he's like, oh man, he's like, I was gonna get that. He's like, that's the last one. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, just because you work there doesn't mean you get benefits. I'm like, that's your own stupid fault, you should have grabbed it. Idiot. Anyway, I grabbed it, and yeah, so I'm glad I did. So the last movie that I'm going to list here for my favorite films of 1980 is the one, the only Caddyshack. A funny film that is also unforgettable with Bill Murray, Chevy Chase. I mean, you have a great cast, Rodney Dangerfield, Ted Knight, yeah. Harold Ramis, rest in peace, directed this movie. It's unforgettable. This was actually just on TV a couple days ago. So, Caddyshack. Definitely a movie that you'd never forget. Alright guys, so that's it. Those are the movies from the year 1980 that are my favorites. And I know there's more movies out there from that certain year, and I just want to make this clear. I'm not trying to list every single movie from the year that I mention. It's basically movies that I think are my favorites that I'm listing. So it's just an opinion. So what do you think of some of these titles that I listed? Let me know in the comments. If you want to do a response to this series, please do so. But like I said, I'm gonna start from with 1980, and I'm gonna go all the way to now. And I might not do them all in a row, but I'm going to be trying to continue this series as much as I can. So, all right, guys. So stay tuned for the next video in the series, and that is my favorite films of the year 1981. Stay tuned.